So this little nuke has got quite a bit of brood in here, so they're going to start exploding pretty soon. They're light. They've eaten a bunch of fondant over winter. So all I did, I'm keeping the feeder in the bottom next to where the bees are. And I've got a box of drawn comb that I pulled off another hive over here that I reduced. I'll drop this box on top of there, give them another fondant patty, feed rim on top. And that gives them room to grow. I probably won't have to touch this hive for 3 weeks or a month. You know, at least one more brood cycle 3 weeks from now, and maybe a little bit more than one brood cycle. And when I come back, I bet they will be filling both these boxes. February 26th. This hive is actually using an upper entrance for whatever reason. They always have. You can see the maple pollen, sort of a dusky greenish yellow, and then they've got dead nettle. Red dead nettle is an invasive from Europe, and it blooms before our native henbit does. Two species are very similar. That dark maroon, deep maroon color is henbit, or dead nettle, and they've got maple coming in too. So this hive is probably going to be upside down. Brood will be in the top, and I don't know, we'll get into it. So this hive is one that I requeened with a nuke last fall, and you can see they're doing pretty well. The entire field force is confused because their upper entrance is moved, but they got a pretty good population. That was a save out. This hive would have died if I hadn't had a nuke available to drop in. So this hive was big in fall. I put them into 4 boxes. They were really hungry and lightweight, and they're still lightweight. Quite a few bees in here, but we've got no brood, we've got no eggs, we've got no queen. Queen mortality over winter just happens sometimes. I've got this little nuke right here that is going to have a lot of trouble getting going. They are tiny, but the value of having overwintered nukes in spring that have mated queens, I'll go in here and find this queen, put her in a candy cage, and I'm going to merge this nuke with this colony. I'll probably just make them 2 boxes. If I had an escape board, there's one box that has bees in it in here. If I had an escape board, I'd just put that box on top of the escape and merge them that way, but I didn't bring any escapes today. I normally do. So let's see, I may put them into 3 boxes. They don't really have enough bees for that, but they will, hopefully. So that's the value of a little nuke in spring with a mated queen. You can save out some of these production colonies that just don't have a queen for whatever reason. It happens. This hive may move up my clock on grafting a little bit. They are really putting in the drone brood. I like to get them in the top rows of the frames and then in between the boxes. They're really doing it. 3 weeks and they'll have mature drones flying out of here. That's a big hive. They're going to have to be split. I got a whole nother box on top and it's full of bees and brood. It's not a problem right now. I need a lot more bees than what I've got. They're going to help me do it. Oh, that's something. February 26th. Pop the lid on this hive to do my first real inspection brood nest manipulation. They've got a wet queen cell. Drone brood in there, but they're all in the top box. There's almost no bees in the second, and there are no bees in the first, so goodness. Why couldn't she just move down? So I'll probably go through every cell or every frame on this. I'll put this box on the bottom And I'm gonna spread that brood nest out, make sure that if there's any cells in there that I cut them down, and give her plenty of room, get her oriented so she can lay and then move up. It's too early for them to be doing this, so I think that's a hive orientation issue. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but that entire tree is buzzing. That's a red maple in full bloom. This one right next to it's either a red or a silver, and it's just getting started. I've got a small bee yard here, and it's down in a hollow, and it seems like these hollows catch a little bit more sun and warm up a little quicker, and they bloom, the trees will bloom a little bit earlier. So even though you may not be seeing trees in bloom, there may be some. There's an American hazelnut over there. It's blooming. That's one of the earliest things in the spring. That's good stuff. So I'm leaving this yard with more equipment than I came in with. I reduced this one. I reduced this hive. They've got so many hive beetles in there, I'm gonna have to intervene or they're gonna crash. It's an insane amount for this time of year. This one has an insane amount of hive beetles. It's depressing. These two are nukes. Young queens started last year. They're doing okay. I think they're gonna make it. So this is one of my out yards, and I don't allow, let's see, my breeding program consists of 4 drone flooding yards that are close to my house and core to my operation, and my mating yard is in the center of those. So I put my best colonies in those 4 yards. My low mite hives, my gentle hives, my productive hives, the ones that are fun to work and just do really good. I put all those in that yard, or in those 4 yards. Mean hives that are a little testier, they get kicked out to my out yards so that they can't mate with those virgin queens when they come out. This is one of those out yards. I've worked 2 in a row, and I don't like these bees very much. I may come in and requeen every one of these with a nuke this year if I can get enough nukes made, and just completely repopulate this yard. Goodness. I've got good bees. I've got really good bees that I really do like in my core yards. These, not so much. One other thing that I'll note about this yard, this is a shady yard. There's a lot of trees. It does get sun during the day, but I much prefer yards in full sun. At least sun most of the day. I have far fewer beetle problems. The hives overwinter better. They come out in spring with bigger populations. They get started building up sooner. There's just a lot of advantages to having yards in full sun. So I'm at the point where beggars can't be choosers. You know, I will try to get better yards over time, and even if it's a mile away, you know, I can move in there and then vacate the yards that don't do as well. Right now, I'm sort of in the position where I just need places to put bees, and then over time, I can work to improve my yard situation, where I've got, you know, south-facing exposure with a northern windbreak, water nearby, out of a floodplain, in full sun, with a good forage area, and hopefully other yards nearby to support queen mating. That's really what I'm looking for, but that's going to be a long-term, continual process. It's not something I can hit the easy button on and fix right now. So I lost a bunch of these little nukes over winter. This one is an exception. They're on a double screen, and when we hit -10 that week, I lost 6 colonies just like this. This one survived, but they only had like a grapefruit-sized cluster of bees in here. So I waited until it got a little bit warmer. I caged the queen in a candy cage and dropped a frame of brood in here. emerging brood with bees. And the queen was not laying in here at all. She was actually shrunk up, and I can tell she's laying now because she's gotten quite a bit bigger. So I was able to save this one out. That's a handy trick. The only reason that I wanted to use a candy cage on that introduction is because I was putting more bees in here by adding one frame than what was already in here. That's how weak they were. I gave them some frames from another dead out, and they've still got some dead bees that they're not strong enough to clean out. So they've got some work to do, but we'll feed them, and I think they're gonna do just fine. I've got another hive that may be queenless or on its way out, so I may use them to re-queen it. These little nukes with good young queens, low mileage queens, are really valuable this time of year. I can save a honey production colony with these. February 26th, just got done working several bee yards and just found 2 ticks on me. So tick season's officially here in Tennessee. They're really, really bad. It makes it no fun to work outside in the spring, summer, and early fall. So I got to get another big bottle of permethrin. I carry some around in my truck all the time, and I spray my pants and socks in every bee yard from now until September, October probably. It's one thing I hate about spring is the start of tick season. So I went into winter with about 100 colonies, and I'm coming out of winter, looks like with 90-ish, something like that. And the last several years, you know, Bob Benny always says that you can 3X per year, and that allows you to grow your equipment, grow your management skill, all this stuff. Your operation can grow together if you 3X your hive count. I've been 2.5Xing on average the last 3 or 4 years, and making a honey crop as well, and that has worked out for me. So if I conservatively say that I'm going to have 80 good colonies this year to work with, if I cull 10, you know, find some queenless, non-performers, whatever, got 80 to work with, I 2.5X that puts me at 200 colonies. R.O.B. Manley, in his book Honey Farming, suggested that to build a full-time career in beekeeping, you needed at least 200 colonies. When I quoted that to Bob Benny when I interviewed him about building a full-time bee business, he said he agreed with that. And then I interviewed Greg Rogers, Asheville, North Carolina beekeeper. He didn't go full-time until he had a little over 200 colonies. So I've got it in my head that I really need at least 200 colonies going into the honey flow next year. I need to get viable this year. I need to get my hive counts up to where they need to be for me to have a mature, viable operation. Well, from peak to valley, an operation peaks in about June, maybe July, and the valley is right now, February, March, before you start making splits. I'm down 26% from my high number to my low. Ian Stepler says that his nuke battery is about 30% of his operation. Chris Werner backed that up and said you need to replace about 30% of your colonies every year. So if I want to be in the honey flow next year with 200 good colonies, I feel like I need to have 30% more than that, which would put me at 260. Take the 80 colonies conservatively that I've got, I 2.5X that, I've got 200, I need 260. If it's a good year, I could get there. If it's a bad year, I can't. So I'm on my way to pick up 32 single deeps. These will be good colonies. The equipment will look familiar to many of you guys. And if I get one split out of these single deeps and then keep the parent hive, that would put me at 64. That would put me at the 264 number that I really need to get to. So I'm here in Lakemont, Georgia with the Blue Ridge Honey Company crew. At Kevin Monfelt, B-Bomb, he's visiting. The famous soap maker, Selena Monique. We got John, not John Land. John, what's your last name?
Lee.
John Lee. We've been picking through some colonies that I'm gonna pick up. Nice spot for a yard. Bob's an expert on alternative uses for bee equipment. When you run out of lids or run out of bottom boards, you can improvise. He's got a lid used as a bottom board there. Bees are pretty happy. All except that one, I think. Not getting out. Bet that's gonna be a clean looking colony right there, judging by how much of the paper they've ejected from the front. Yeah, that's a clean, orderly colony there. They don't like having that paper inside the colony. They're doing a good job cleaning it out.
Hey, John.
Yes.
We got this one to fill up real quick.
Yeah, I'm going to pull it on the side. This ain't mad.
Replacing a broken box is harder when the bottom board is nailed on.
Yeah.
Well, you got them good and stirred up now.
Yeah. If they wasn't mad,
They don't like being hammered on.
Got her hot, Johnny? Yeah. All the lids back on? You really got to look at it because you know Bob's going to see this one tonight.
It's about 9 p.m. Central Time. I've got a cup of coffee and 2 Celsius energy drinks and about 4 hours to go before I've got a chance of getting to bed. I don't like staying up late. I've got young kids and they have trained me to go to bed early and get up early. So this is the part of beekeeping I don't enjoy that much. Moving bees, you got to do it at night. I'd rather, when I move bees around home, I usually get up early in the morning before daybreak, and that works good for me. I'm a morning person. I'd rather get up 2 hours before daybreak than stay up late. Well, it's 3 after 1 in the morning. I just got everything unloaded into a holding yard. I'll deal with them later this week. I gotta get home. It's late.